Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase and this is All Things REM. Today I'm excited to bring you my first, hopefully not last, Egard watch. Now, you guys have heard me talk about Egard watches for quite a long time. In fact, I did a video I will link right here of why I love this watch company. They, last year during all the riots, right now it's 2021, last year in 2020, during all the BLM riots, I myself am a police officer, and Egard watches was one of the only companies, period, not just watch company, not just whatever, one of the only companies who on social media actively supported the men and women who are behind not only the badge as a police officer, but military and fire. It really means a lot when a company has values behind their actual products. It means far more to me to hear Egard support police than a company like Movement Watches that are like, oh, we were college kids that started from nothing. No. Values mean more to me than almost anything else. With that in mind, let's flip the camera around and dive right into this, specifically the Dali review. Okay, and here it is in its original packing. The Egard Dali, specifically, this is going to be the stainless steel model. So it comes in just a basic box, as you'd expect of any type of micro brand. Nothing too fancy, but nothing too simple. So inside we have the watch, and to be honest, I have already opened this up because, you know, when you get a watch in, you're super excited about it. Now this is the Dali V2. Here's the instruction manual, and in the instruction manual, one of the things that I love about this is they give you everything. The specs, 43 millimeter for the men's, 36 for the women. It has 316L stainless steel. The crystal is a curved sapphire crystal. It's got a Seiko NH35 automatic movement, 50 meters of water resistance, and a genuine leather strap with a butterfly buckle. I love how they lay it all out for you because they're not afraid to tell you sort of what it is. I love how they even explain water resistance tips for maintaining water resistance. And water resistance can be a confusing concept. I really like the fact that they're honest about the watches that they sell. Most people think that, hey, if I have a watch that has a 30-meter water resistance rating, well, I can take it 30 meters. Well, in no way is that true. If you have a watch that has 30 meters of water resistance, I wouldn't even take it out in the rain because, I mean, it may be moisture proof, and that's about it. So here is the watch itself in all the glory. Now, one of the things that I really like about Egard is the case shape. It's very unique. One of the first watches that ever caught my eye from Egard was their Qantas V2, specifically the Mayan calendar one. On the back, they had a Mayan calendar, and it was just awesome. Really love that watch. I never got a chance to get a hold of it. Now they have the Qantas V3 out, but honestly, Egard has been doing a lot of interesting stuff, to include a watch similar to the style, except it has a tourbillon. It's a skeletonized tourbillon. Really cool, the things they're doing. So you just heard me tell you that this has a 43 millimeter case. I will get out the calipers. We will verify everything, to include the thickness of this watch. One of the things about Egard watches are they are slightly thick because of that curvature they offer. One of the things that they have on their signature is that curved sapphire crystal. It's just basically on all their watches except their modular style watches, but mostly it's this case shape with that curve. It's really indicative of who they are. Now I'm going to try to get a close-up here of the dial so you guys can sort of see that it has like a nighttime sparkle. I say that because what it reminds me of is like the stars in the sky. It's really difficult to see in this light, but man, when you see it in the bright sunlight, it just shines, and it's actually quite beautiful. Now, I will tell you that the design of the dial is not for everybody. Not everybody is gonna like that diamond-like sparkle in the background or that starry night that I sort of explained. Not a lot of people are going to like that. I personally like it. The Egard logo right there at the 12 o'clock, Egard written just below the 12, basic sword style hands, and there is no lume on this watch, but it does have really nice applied indices right around the outside. It does have a matching date at the 3 o'clock. By that I mean it has a black background with a white 7. Now, one of the things that the NH35 offers is hacking and hand winding. No screw down crown on this, but that's okay. Still offers 50 meters of water resistance. So you can hand wind it without even pulling out the crown, which is nice to do. This is an automatic watch, so it's not necessary to actually get the watch working. Sometimes all you gotta do is just give it a shake, and then it starts right up if you let the power reserve run out. Pull it out once, and you can see that the date flips over, no problem at all. Pull it out again, and you have the ability to set the time. Let's go all the way around to the 12 o'clock to see the date change, because the same thing with the NH35s, they're all the same. Slowly starts going over about the 10:45, then finally around the midnight pops over. It's the same thing with every NH35. You're gonna get the exact same thing, but it does offer hacking and hand winding, which is nice. Now the strap on this is a genuine leather strap. This is gonna be a black padded leather strap with stitching around the outside. Now it does have a butterfly style clasp that is sort of, I'm not the biggest fan of these because of sort of the genuine leather strap. I prefer just a standard buckle, but this just sort of elevates it to something a little more classy, and only because when you get it on the wrist, you have to feed it through and then clip it down. It's just an extra annoyance. It's not really a negative thing. It's just something that I don't like. It looks good on the wrist, but I would honestly just rather have a buckle. Now, one of the things that I do like about this watch is the back of the watch. It's sort of like a semi-transparent window with the painting of like a midnight sky with a moon in the background. You can sort of see a rotor sort of moving in the background, but honestly, I think it's beautiful. Automatic sapphire crystal, 5 ATM or 50 meters of water resistance. Egard, honestly, just a really good looking watch. Now let's pull out the calipers and get a good measurement on this watch so you have an understand how it sits on the wrist, then we'll put it on the wrist. Okay, now with the calipers out, we'll measure it at the furthest point across. It is just at 43.04. Let's measure the thickness of this watch. And I haven't taken off the sticker of that crown. Don't think that it's gonna be blue. It does have the Egard logo. It's just when it comes to these things, they're just a little difficult to get off, so I just leave them on until they naturally come off. Now the thickness of this is gonna be 13.8, so we'll call it 14. The lugs on this are 22, and the lug to lug, which I find the most important, is going to be just over 50, so sort of a sweet spot for most people. Let's go ahead and just toss this on the wrist, and I'll wrap up this video. Now here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. Honestly, I think it fits relatively nicely. Really love that curve of the crystal. It just makes it very beautiful. Nice light play there and nice distortion on the dial. With this just over 50 millimeter footprint, basically it sits perfectly on my wrist. Now, even though it does have a slightly large 43 millimeter in diameter, honestly, that correlates to a smaller footprint right here, and it may be a larger watch, but it sits like a 40 or 41 millimeter on the wrist, so not overly big at all, sort of a sweet spot. Honestly, love the case shape, love the finishing on the outside of the case, nice brushed finishing, and I love the strap, not the buckle. That is just my own personal pet peeve, but a lot of people are gonna like that. Honestly, 22 millimeter strap, you can find any strap for this, and guess what? With any type of dress watch, you start changing out the dress strap with something else, and you may end up being able to dress it up even further or dress it down even more. Now, I know Egard also sells their own straps, so maybe look on their website first. I will leave a link down below of the watch. In no way am I an affiliate, so if you click on that link, it's gonna go straight to their website. You guys can check it out yourself. Honestly, this is a big thumbs up in my eyes. Now, what do you guys think about the watch? One of the things that I really liked that they did was they offered it both in a men's size and a women's size. So for you guys who like to sort of dress up with your wives, match going out to maybe a nice dinner, I would recommend getting something like this because it's very dressy, especially with that dial. Also, get your wife something matching. They do offer it in both the silver as well as like a gold plated. So they sort of hit both ends of that dress watch feel. So what do you guys think about this watch? Is the price point right? Do you guys like the dial layout or anything else about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below of the content you guys would like to see on this channel. This is all things random, mostly watches, sprinkled in with some random stuff that I find interesting. So leave a comment of what you would like to see me get my hands on, and I'll do my best to get my hands on it. Also, make sure you guys are hitting that notification bell so you can be notified when I drop that next video. Until next time.